Fire.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Anime Analyst US here on your friendly neighborhood YouTube channel. I'm your host Thomas Rye.
And I'm your co-host Hasnan Zadi.
And we just noticed that there was no audio on the intro. We will fix that for Monday. We apologize for the technical difficulties. You know, stuff happens. So, oops. Tonight's anime is Birdie Wing. This is a highly underrated anime that they did not get their proper props. And honestly, if you look at the number of golfers out there, and golfers like golfing, and if you're not a golfer, there's two things you can't do in life if you're not a golfer or baseball fan is you can't watch baseball on TV or you cannot watch golfing. I've never made it through an entire 18 holes on TV, and I'm a golfer. I just can't do it. And I think when people saw that this was an anime about golfing and Birdie Wing and all this, I don't want to watch a show about golfing. I mean, what can you talk about golfing? Man, let me tell you, there's 25 episodes in this, and I was not bored at one time anywhere throughout this anime. There's a good story behind it. They had a lot of characters into it. The illustrations were great. The voice actors were on point, and they were really good with they did a good job putting this anime together. I mean, what do you think?
Okay, so that was the same concept I had when we decided that we are going this show, and I thought it is going to be golf, and like from being here, like I have no idea about the golf. Like nobody here talk about the golf, and we don't have access to the golf course here, and it is a rare game. Like some people have, like there are some clubs, but that's really far away from the reach of the normal people.
Well,
But,
you said
but
earlier that only the military are allowed to golf
yeah,
over
like
there.
there are some military clubs which owned by the military, and there is a huge difference. Like it, for simple words, like if it's for $100 for a common person to join that club, it is 50 cents for a military guy to join that same club with the same benefits. That's the level of difference they have in these type of clubs. So like a civilian cannot go there.
Well, over here, a civilian can go, um, but you have different levels. You have county-owned golf courses, which are $50 to $100 to play on it, and you know they're running through 200 golfers a day. So you can imagine the grass is not perfect. There's a lot of dirt. I didn't like playing at county-owned. I like private golf courses. You pay a lot more money, anywhere from $100 to $1,000 for 18 holes, and beautiful grass, golf carts. You know, you could expect a challenging course. I love playing. I played for years. I played till about 15 years ago when my back just finally said no more golfing. I couldn't golf more than once a week. I've always had back problems, so it's the way your body twists in swinging a golf club is very hard on the forearms, on the shins, and on the hip muscles. You know, your back because of the full swing that you're making. But yeah, I mean, golf is huge over here, but you won't see people standing around at a local golf course with people standing on the side watching, hey, go get that ball in the hole, yay! Oh no, the only time you see people standing on the side is at tournaments, and it's because your kid or someone you know is in it. But unless it's a, national thing where that's why golfers make so much money. It even though golfing is huge, multi-billion-dollar business, it's it's a niche. It's just like we cater to the anime crowd. The golfer manufacturers cater to the golfers crowd. Now there's a lot of people that like golfing, a lot, but they're not going to watch it. They don't watch it on TV. They don't watch it in person. They don't, it's just no interest in it. And that shows here with the statistic on this, where, the first season was 70,000 in the fan club, and the second season was 35,000. Crunchyroll doesn't even acknowledge that it's 2 seasons. To them, it's a 1 season anime. There just was not, and I think that I'm starting to notice as we review more and more animes that when that fan club member numbers are down, their rankings are horrid, and it doesn't matter how good the anime is. I mean, this anime, they, whoever made it spent a lot of money, and they did a really good job, and there's an actual good story to this.
Yeah, the plot line is amazing. Like when I started watching it, like if but not just the golf, like okay, there was a golf and they were having huge decision making over the game of golf. Like they were like with the mafia thing and when they were having the matches. But the plot that is going with the anime side by side is completely amazing. Like the story is good. The
Well,
characters is
it shows that girl going from just betting on a single hole and just smashing the ball around everywhere to when you see her in those championship matches. I mean, her putts before usually it would be putted so hard it hit the pin, jump up 3 feet, and then go in the cup. That's when it's called hitting the ball too hard with the putter. But in her championship round, you saw it just softly going in like a normal golfer. I mean, she developed from a wild, unsophisticated, gambling golf junkie to a professional golfer that acted properly on the course and golfed properly. And she got better when she settled down and started golfing right. So I didn't mean to interrupt you on that. I just had that thought.
yeah, and the animation was also right good. And the scene where they were having the matches, and after every round they were changing, like the machines were moving and they were bringing in the new things, and like that was like good. Like they're just standing there and the field is completely changed.
Oh, that would be so cool if that could be real. I mean, first of all, they were like 35 stories under the ground. And can you imagine the hole that they had to dig when they first put that in? I mean, that thing's like 500 yards long in order to come up with, it's not like they were going down halfway and then resetting the ground to do the back half of the course. No, that thing could lay out a 490-yard par 5 with sand traps, full-size trees, and I'm surprised with the way she golfed. She wasn't bouncing the ball off the ceiling.
Yes, and the match which he had with the Viper thing, like the vampire thing, and the way like she find out like how she is cheating. Like she has all like they built the character really nice. Like he has the attention, and the best thing was when she win the game, kick her and say you have a bet. Take me to the match because the other girl I was waiting for Eve there, and she left her a ball with the word liars. And the thing was when they met on the like virtual reality thing, that was also a good thing. You remember like the costume Eve was wearing? This is the costume that we have like talked like 2 3 days ago, like with the cat hairs and the tail, and they get to rotate that thing.
Yeah. It's definitely a worthwhile transition to see. What would you say? It probably was 50% golfing, 50% her struggling, trying to protect and support this family of orphan kids. And, even though they show the kids a lot, the kids were not directly involved, but they even properly over the years they adjusted the children. They were growing up, and in that last scene they looked like they were 12, 13-year-old kids, so it looked like 5, 6 years had passed.
Okay, so like we have two opinions. Like one where we can see like it is two season. One we see like it's a single season with 25 episode. But if we break it in two parts, the first part the story is moving. Like there is not much golf. Like they have their bets, they have their mafia included. They have like the casino deals, all based on like she's making money. I think the golf part came in the second season when they go for the tournament, and that's where they're having the golf
Well,
thing. So like it is.
having that battle with Aoi made it really easy for Eve to, in order to play Aoi, she had to settle into the professional golf side because the people behind Aoi, and when you're a golfer, you have a whole team of people behind you, not just your caddy, your manager, your press agent, your supporter, what business is supporting you. There's a lot of money going into each and every golfer, and each golfer makes more money than just golfing. They're teaching golf. A lot of the golf courses in the United States have professional golfers that work for the golf course that, so the tournaments are all extra. Only the top 30 players are making money other than being in a tournament. I mean, we used to drive around, me and a buddy of mine, we would go and we'd drive 5 hours to be in a Saturday morning tournament because of nothing else. Even if you didn't win, you got free golf balls. They had door prizes out the yin yang. I mean, every time I was coming back from a golf event, I would be carrying $500 to $1,000 in golf balls, bags, clubs, shoes, clothes, you name it. I bought my first set of Jack Nicklaus custom-made titanium clubs, and when I went to pick them up, they accidentally made them with graphite. Well, that's like $500 to $1,000 difference, and they're like, well, they're custom made. I mean, they're made for me, for my swing, and I'm left-handed, so they weren't going to sell them to anyone else. A 6 foot tall left-handed golfer that has a funky swing with a longer club. So they ended up giving me the clubs. So I'll have to give my props to Dick's Sporting Goods. That's where I had them made at. And I loved them, and we were talking about this before the show started, where when she brought out the Shining club, and it was 48 inches. Well, the normal golf club is anywhere between 28 to 32 inches, depending on your height. You want a golf club that comes down about 20 degrees off, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole technical aspect to it. And it depends on your swing, because they literally put you in a swing machine that would do all that, and they would calculate, a bunch of math formula, and computers would calculate your golf club length. Well, I had them add 2 inches to mine, and then I learned how to play with, because I wanted a longer club, because every chance I got to use a longer club, I could knock it 20 yards further, because you can't change your swing. The weight of your swing is what I'm talking about. You can always perfect your swing and all that, but you can only swing that club so hard before it's called slice. When it even goes, the ball will go out and then cut to the right, or out and cut to the left. And it usually, if you swung too hard or too soft, that would go that direction, or if you it gets very technical. But the point of it is you have basically one level you can swing at. In order to increase your game, you have to change your club, your shoes, your clothes, everything else but the swing. The swing is kind of set, it's set from when you start, unless you practice over and over, and it's repetition. Just like baseball guys, Hank Aaron went out and would hit home runs for 5 hours a day every single day, and that's why he could go up to the plate and knock home runs out of the park all the time. You know, you have to work at your sport in order to make yourself good at what you do. And honestly, I liked how I think she calmed her swing down and she started getting better to where
Yeah,
when
like
she
if we see like in the start when she has a match with Oi, like when first time she hit, she break the branch, and the second time she
oh yeah, when
made
she
yeah,
took the shortcut. Yeah, she didn't do that anymore once she got into the big, the big times. But winning those tournaments, the winner walks away with $1 million. You don't play with those. Now, granted, the whole anime was shown around the bet, and let's face it, it's an anime, so it was up to the writer. But if you compare it with real life, there are some underhanded shit being pulled. And about 10, 15 years ago, there was a big stink in the PGA over lasers being shot in golfers' eyes to make them miss putts and stuff like that. I mean, where people were getting arrested, and it got lasers are bad when it comes with pilots, golfers, baseball players, anybody that requires eyes to use. You can do underhanded crap, and that's the whole first season they showed a lot of that underhanded crap, and they also show how the pros do it. In the end, they just dig up some dirt on you to try to get her disqualified. But you know what? Once you win, you can't take you. They can strip the money, they can strip the trophy, but they can't take the win away. I learned that in racing. Everyone who's ever done any type of sport has won and then lost for something that has nothing to do with the sport you were doing. But no matter what, she still won that year. I mean, to me, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could hoist the trophy as a winner if the first place person was, ejected for something that you did. I would have a conscience about that. I mean, because that was her manager that pulled that crap, and to me, that's worse than the mafia betting and all that stuff that she did prior to becoming she wasn't a pro golfer when she did all the betting. So they played that in and made it, when they told the board, they made it seem like she was betting when she was golfing, but all that happened before she became a pro. So it was an unfair, unjust thing, but we all know that happens constantly in the world we live in, because and now with where I live now, I'm learning you shake a person's hand with one hand, and the other one they're sticking it around your back and sticking the knife in it and pulling it out, because I've never. Anyway, I got sidetracked there. I'll get back on track. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
That was bad. But you got to be careful, because some people cannot handle being fair and losing. They're not very good at it, and especially so. And our star, Eve, throughout the story, I do believe that I heard her say that she started golfing when she was like 4 or 5 years old. That she's had a club in her hands all her life, and that's what it takes to be a star, to win on that, level of playing, where the top 30 golfers in the world out of 5 million golfers, 30 of them or 50 of them get to compete here.
Yeah, that's her story. Like the guy was Leo who was teaching her. Like after the Rose lose her hand with working with the mafia, and Leo, I think tell her like for 3 years she only trained. Like she did nothing else, and every day train, and suddenly he disappears. So that way she get into like survivor mode and start betting on the things and making one whole games and making some money to support the Glenn and her sister and the kids.
Right.
So, uh, we want to tell them about the video that we
Oh,
have
yeah,
for
yeah,
those.
yeah. I was waiting until you finished. I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure you were done with that. I'm sorry about that. All right. Last show, we showed it during the show, but we've decided that we're not going to do that, that didn't work. Um, we have a video. It's a Birdie Wing video, and it's about the characters. Because there's so many characters in this one, there's not a lot of action shots for us to get it in a time frame. So we'll be releasing that right after the show, and within a half hour of the show, we'll also release it on Twitter. It's well worth checking it out. It's got all the actors or all the players in there. It's got their names, a little bit of story about them, as much as we could find out. Um, it's kind of limited because we're not talking about real people, so it's hard to get bios on because you have to depend on the original writers to write the bios or even where it's somewhere available. But yeah, we've got another video. I believe it's number 17 or 19. It's one of those up there. But check it out. We'll release it. We'll release a link to it and the video on Twitter. And I guess we will see you guys on Monday. So have a good weekend. We got a lot of new stuff coming up. We have our new studio cam running tonight. That's me. Glad to see you on this one, but that way you can see the studio and at least the computer and the equipment that I work with in order to produce the show. And hopefully you'll enjoy getting a sneak peek into what we do to process it. You brought your smileys up again. Or did I drag the mouse across them? There we go. Had to get the smileys off the screen. All right, well, we'll see you guys on Monday. You have a good weekend. And keep watching them animes. Bye.